Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Spiritual Principles of Recovery. Glad you're here to join us online as well.
This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me. This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread. Your very word spoken to me, and I'm desperate for you, and I'm lost without you. This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me. This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread. Your very word spoken to me, and I'm desperate for you, and I'm lost without you, and I'm desperate for you, and I'm lost without you.
Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And how do we know what is the best thing we can do? Just keep your mouth shut. There we go. That helps us more than anything else, right? So this evening, I'm excited for everyone that's here and everyone that's online. A friend of mine, someone I consider a friend, I guess that's okay, is going to be speaking tonight, and he's a little different than I am, which is good because we want some variety, right? He's a little more clean cut than I am, and a little more, reverent than I am at times. No, this is exciting because we get to have Christian tell us and show us really what it comes down to. And one of the things that he does is that he has a ministry called Most High Ministries, right? And I love the tagline, there ain't no high like the Most High, right? And that's the truth. And we're so honored to have him. And with that, I'll give you Christian.
What's up, y'all? I'll tell you what's going on is I can't see anything on this paper without these. That's good, yeah. All right, so like Paul said, my name is Christian, and I am a husband and a father. My wife is here. We've been together for 24, 25 years. She still likes me. I have 3 children, 23, 18, and 17. I'm also, like Paul mentioned, I'm the CEO and founder of Most High Ministries, also known as Most High Media. We do documentaries, TV shows, and we all centering around recovery and spirituality. And everything that we create is made by and for people in recovery. So everyone from the camera person to the person editing, it's a therapeutic value all the way to the thing that we complete as a creative piece and then share it all with y'all. So it's a pretty cool thing. And the reason why we picked that as a lane was because there's a lot of places like where we're at here and a lot of places like Spore and Vision of Hope Church that do those things really well. And we didn't want to replicate whatever somebody else was doing. And we felt like if somebody was in the middle, they always have a phone. And everything we do, we put on our app. So you can access any of our content on the app. I'm also 13 years clean and serene, or sober, or maintain my recovery, whatever count, And so the title and the topic today is You Are Not Your Thoughts. This guy's looking at me like, Who has a problem with that? You are not your thoughts. So once, I'm with my beautiful wife one day, and we're in an argument. As people do, right? After being together for 20-something years. And we're having this fight. She's sitting on the couch, just calm as could be. And I'm doing me. I grew up French, so we talk with our hands, And she's just chilling. And it occurred to me, we're not in a fight. I'm in a fight. Somehow, I had convinced myself that I had been wronged, that some boundary had been crossed. How dare you offend me in some way? Which then created an emotion in me. And I don't know who else is like me here or online, but I'm not a person who can just hold my emotions in. I am an emotional person. It's part of the things that makes me good at what I do. It makes me what helps me to connect with other humans, So there's a theory. Well, it's not a theory. It's a framework called cognitive behavioral therapy. Has anybody heard of that? I'm not even going to try and spell cognitive. So I'm just going to put this CBT. And that is when your thoughts create your feelings, and that creates your actions. Or you can think of it like this is a train, right? And the leader of the train is your thoughts. And then you got feelings and actions. So wherever your thoughts go, it's where your feelings go, it's where your actions go. If you've been to treatment, you've heard this before. So in that example, somewhere in my mind, I felt offended, right? Which created the feeling of anger, which was really fear that I'm not being respected, which created the action of yelling and flailing my hands. It was quite dramatic. The Lord knows how to pair people together because she is not that way. So I had the thought, which created the feeling, which created the action. Does anybody have thoughts maybe that you're not where you're supposed to be? That maybe you're not good enough? That maybe you should be further along in life? Things didn't work out the way you thought they would? So that thought sits. What feeling do you think that creates in you? Worthlessness? Failure? Insignificance? Depression? Now, what do people who feel insignificant, depressed, how do they act? They act out. Yeah, for sure. Try to get the power back somehow. We act crazy. We might shut down. Procrastinate. We get angry. You ever meet and want to use? You ever meet someone who's just angry all the time? Like just a curmudgeon? Yeah. Isolate. All come from this thought. I'm not where I should be. I should be further along. That thought creates this situation, and here you are, wondering, why do I feel this way? Why am I just sitting around? Why am I not taking and putting everything I can, what do they say, like putting everything I can into the stream of life, right? It's because this thought created a feeling, which created the action, which is whatever, all those things that we just listed, right? Oh, shit. Put a hand on that. Okay. You guys with me? Yep. Following? Haven't offended anybody yet? Okay. So, this is you. You're pretty cool. You're kind of a ghost. But let's give you wings, too. You have wings. And a halo. That's you. You are the you that has thoughts. You are the you that has emotions. But you are not your thoughts and emotions. I'm just pausing because it's got to trickle down. You are the you that has thoughts. Your thoughts are important. Thoughts are valuable. We wouldn't have got here without someone's thoughts. Someone had the thought to build this building. Someone had the thought to create a spiritual principles of recovery. You had the thought to decide to maybe quit living on the streets and committing crimes, so you're here today. So thoughts are important. They're valuable. And if we believe in that tree, right, that train, it created an emotion, which created an action, which got us here. I mean, I'm talking on a microphone. This microphone don't exist if someone didn't think of it, right, and the speaker. I mean, this thing, I talk into this, there's a little screen in here that bounces, then it turns it into ones and zeros, then it breaks those ones and zeros into whatever the heck goes over Wi-Fi, and goes into a thing there, and then goes back to ones and zeros, then turns back to an electric signal, then comes back to these speakers. Someone thought of all that. Thoughts are important. They're valuable. We need them. And emotions are important too. Emotions are like check engine lights, right? You get this emotion up and you go, I'm feeling a little angry right now, you know? This is why we say we pause when agitated, restraint of the pen and the tongue, right? We're going to have, when we were wrong, promptly admitted it, right? The emotions are a signal. It's telling us there's been some thought that happened, I'm not feeling right, and I need to take the appropriate or right action, right? Leslie, can you give me my water right there? Oh, is this mine? I thought I saw Paul licking on it earlier. Okay. So, I'm going to tell you a story. This lady goes to interview this monk. And the monk is just sitting there in peace, calm. And she says, "Sir, what does a monk do?" She's a journalist. She's going to write a story about this. So she's really asking the hard-hitting questions, you know? The monk says, "I drink tea, I walk, I eat." She goes, "Well, I drink tea, I walk, I eat. What's the difference between us?" He said, "The difference is when I drink tea, I know I'm drinking tea. When I walk, I know I am walking. When I'm eating, I know I am eating." Mindfulness, presence, awareness. This is a person that is not consumed or victim of their thoughts. They are the they that is controlling it. Now, that person has the same thing we have, which is a brain. And I have a good friend, he's a neuropsychologist, which is a fancy doctor name. So your brain is mainly doing two things. It's got two main functions. This is in our latest documentary too. Wait, is that brain or is that Brian? It's Brian. No, it's brain. Okay. Your brain does two things. All right. Two purposes your brain was designed for. Keep you alive. And to protect you or free you or, what's the word I used? Oh, avoid. Avoid pain. Now, this is what my friend Dr. Zach says, that your brain is designed with these two primary, it does a lot of other things, but these are the two primary functions. So if you think back in the day when we were living in the wild, you really needed this brain to do these two things, keep you alive and avoid pain, right? Well, now we live in a society, now we live in a society, in a system, in the matrix and everything. And so these two functions, they start to take on new meaning, right? Dr. Zach says that a lot of what addiction is avoiding pain. It's the neurotransmitters in your brain being rewired to avoid pain. Any kind of pain, emotional pain, physical pain, financial pain, mental pain, pain of rejection, the pain of not feeling like you're where you should be, right? So the brain's going to try to solve these problems as quickly as possible. The other thing that the brain does is a thing called negative bias. Have you ever heard that term? Negative bias? I guarantee you that every advertiser on the planet has heard that term. Every politician running for office has heard that term. What that term means is that your brain takes a fraction of a second to imprint a negative memory. It takes a vastly amount more time to imprint a positive memory. So this is why you could be having a great day. Birds are singing, weather is nice, right? Two little birds outside your window, it's great. And you get an email from your boss. Some of you guys have bosses that email you. And he's like, "Man, you really messed that thing up. That job didn't look like it should, or you didn't do a really good job." And maybe you see one of your beloveds, and you look them in the eye, and you say, "I love you." They say, "I love you," and you have a great day. But then you go to lay down on your head on the bed, and what's the first memory that pops in your head? The boss. You had a great day. You don't think about the sparkle in that other human's eyes that you got to see, or the God in them when you had this interaction. The first thing that pops up is this negative bias as you're about to go to sleep. This is your brain's system. Again, I didn't make this up. I just read it. So you want to fact check it, you can Google all this stuff. But it's your brain starting to, it wants to put this down, and there is a reason why. So back in the day, before we had this society, you had to be aware of lions, tigers, and bears. And if Tommy got slashed at that bush over there, we want a system, right? I think everyone in here believes we're created, right? In some way. You want a system that is going to quickly remember that. You don't want to have to meditate that that's a place of danger. You don't want to have to journal about that was a place of danger. You don't want to have to talk with your sponsor or your friend about, oh yeah, Timmy got, to know that we don't go there because we're going to die if we go there because there's a tiger in that bush. So this is not a bug. This is a feature. That's for any developers out there. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It's imprinting these negative things because what's the brain's purpose? To keep us alive and to protect us and avoid pain. So it's no wonder that our brain is doing this stuff, right? Now this is spore. I'm talking behind the cross. So, and I do love my buddy, the Apostle Paul. So he writes this letter to a group of people a long time ago called the Corinthians. And in this letter, he says, take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. Who's heard that? Now, maybe Paul knows something about this thought process. Maybe Paul's tapped in to a higher authority to communicate this. This is way before Carl Jung and all those people. What do you think that means, to take every thought captive and submit it to the authority of Christ? Pay attention. Okay. I think that's the beginning of what it means, right? And I think that's usually how this is taken. This is usually how this is preached, right? In a collective corporate way.
You hold it till you act on
Okay, hold it till you act on it. Pause. Yeah? What else? Don't dwell on it. So, play the tape forward is great, yeah. Which I guess all does mean put it into the authority of God. But you're taking every thought captive and you're submitting it to the authority of Christ. So Christ's got a way of doing things, right? And it's usually not the way that everybody else does it. So we are best served when we surrender to this higher authority, right? So, how do we do that? Right? How do we take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ, to whatever your higher power is? I don't know where you're at with that. You might be working that out. How do we do that? Would you guys like to know how to do that? Yes. Yeah. Well, that's part 2. Come back next week. No, I'm just kidding. I love these little awkward pauses with the board. I think also, if he's saying that you take every thought captive and make it obedient, he's telling us that we are not our thoughts. Whatever we are, whatever you are the you that has the thoughts, right? And until the thought is turned into a feeling and then into an action, it's really just a thought. Who has jacked up thoughts? Thoughts that you're like, what? Where did that come from? You know? You don't take that. You ride that, you're going to ride it all the way to who knows where. Right? So, thoughts are good. They're important. We're here because of thought. But this also really doesn't exist until whatever we are. And if you are a Christian, this is not hard for you to comprehend, right? Because we believe that there's a deposit of a spirit, there's a soul, there's this whole ecosystem that's existing in us. So the thought really doesn't exist until we grab it and go, no, that exists. That's something. And I'm going to do something with that, right? I'm a creative, so a lot of my job is manifesting things out of nothing. Stuff doesn't exist. I'm really proud of myself. I did not cuss. That was not the word I had in mind. It doesn't exist until I make it exist. So I spend a lot of time in here sorting through, is that what, how do we actually accomplish that? But until I take action, it doesn't exist. So you might have a thought of leaving the beautiful sober living environment you're a part of, getting out of whatever community group that you're in because the same 7 people share the same things every week and you're sick and tired of hearing it, right? And that's just a thought. That's all that is. And we don't have to take action on the thoughts. So let me share some things that have worked with me. I've heard this guy, Dallas Willard, said, if you want to become spiritual, ruthlessly remove hurry from your life. So the first one, slow down. Who's like, yeah, that's cool, no problem, I got that. I'm an alcoholic. I got 2 speeds, no go and go. Slow down. Here's a good exercise. Who drinks coffee here? Most of the room. One weirdo did not raise his hand. That's the guy you got to watch out for. The guy who doesn't need coffee in the morning. I just push-ups and drink water. Here's a challenge for anybody. When you pour your cup of coffee tomorrow morning, provided we're still here in the morning, really be mindful of that. You pull that pot off. And watch how freaking hard this is to really do the thing you're doing. To not have your phone in your hand, scrolling through. I know you guys aren't on Instagram and TikTok. You guys are looking at devotionals and Bible verses. Put your phone away and just pour the coffee. Watch the conversation you have with yourself. And I don't know if you put milk and sugar in it, but do just that thing as an exercise of slowing down. It won't take you any more time than it normally takes you, but you'll be mindful of what you're actually doing. One of the things that slowing down does, and I think this is essential, is it gets you in your body. Now, most of us don't really realize that the mind is a part of the body. The heartbeat stops, the mind stops. The mind is in the body. It's a part of this whole system. But a lot of times, what do we say in recovery? You're in your head. You're future tripping. You're sitting in the past. We're not in the body. So getting inside of your body. Now, for some people, that could be nature walks. I know someone's trying to quit heroin. They're like, take a nature walk? Are you kidding, dude? I'm trying to quit heroin, bro. Working out. Just a walk, right? Paying attention to what you're doing. Some of you people might work with your hands. Doing the thing that you're doing. Getting into your body. Right now, we're all in this room, and I don't know where everyone is out there, but your mind is in your body. Your body is in the chair. You ever have somebody, like some old timer like Paul, tell you, where are your feet? Look where your feet are. Be where your feet are. That's the message, right? Get in your body. Get to the present moment. Get here and now. And this is what's key, and this might be what I'm doing for you today, is recognizing it. Becoming aware that your brain is doing what your brain is supposed to do. It's supposed to be thinking of threats. And we don't threat bears and tigers, right? But somebody looking at you the wrong way in the hallway can feel like a threat. Your boss sending you an email talking trash about you feels like a threat. Your brain doesn't know that it's not a life-threatening issue. So we have to recognize that this is happening. That our mind is on a negative bias, that our mind is always running. And the reason why it's running is because it's always it's doing what it's supposed to do. Your brain is doing brain stuff. It's trying to keep you alive. It's trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you from pain. And that's what it's supposed to do, right? So when we recognize that that's what's happening. When you start slowing down, when you get in your body, this thing starts to be a little more apparent. You kind of like, you ever drive somewhere and be like, I don't even remember driving here. Which is crazy. We're in this giant metal machine with pyrotechnics happening right in front of us, and there's other people driving 70 miles down the freeway. We're connecting to radio. We're thinking about our past life, our future life. We're stuck in our head. Now, I'm going to give you this other solution. Rarely do people do this. It feels too simple. Box breathing. Who's heard of box breathing? All right, got some RSTAT people here. This is what I love about the breath. Your breath is always there, no matter what. You commit a crime, breath is there. You get locked up because you're guilty, because you got caught doing the crime, breath is there. You watch your first child be born, breath is there. You made a mistake, breath is there. You're scared out of your mind, you're so fearful that you can't figure this out and that you're lost and you're never going to do what you want to do. What's there? Your breath. It's always there. No judgment. It's doing what it was meant to do. It's serving you. It's keeping this whole system alive. You always have access to your breath. That's a metaphor for God too, by the way. I don't know. Or simile. Illustration. one of those. It's always there. You can always access it. So, you guys want to do some box breathing? Yeah, they do. You guys want to try it? All right. So, first thing I'm going to ask is for everyone to just get your feet flat on the ground. You don't have to sit very rigidly, but you want your back mostly straight. My wife over here thinking she don't need to do this. She's just naturally a human, that's why. All right. Maybe you tilt your head down. I would say close your eyes. If you don't feel safe, just stare at the ground. Now for this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath in. Big breath in. And out. One more cleansing breath in. And out. Now for box breathing, it's really simple. If you can count to 4, you can do it. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Out. For some of us, it helps on that out breath to count to 8. So if y'all are really feeling froggy, let's try that. All right, we're going to breathe in. Ready? In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't forget to breathe back in. I may be weird, but it feels still in this room now. We're using our breath to get back in the body. That counting is just keeps your monkey mind busy. Because your brain's busy going, where am I at? In breath, out breath. Okay, I'm going to do this right. I got to do this right. Am I doing it right? The other thing about box breathing is you can do it anywhere, anytime. You don't have to take that stance. You don't have to close your eyes. You can be driving down the highway. The thoughts start piling in your head. The Rolodex of tomfoolery starts piling up. You recognize it's happening. Breathe. You can be in a public place, in line at Chick-fil-A. I don't know. I was going to say McDonald's, but then if I talk about McDonald's, I'm going to want McDonald's on the way home. And, you know, there's that freaking thought that comes up. Breathe. The whole restaurant don't need to know you're doing this. You can just do this. And sometimes it doesn't take but 1 or 2 or 3 of those box breaths to get you back in your body. Now, the good news is that there's a solution. The bad news is this is what it is to be a human. The gift of us, anyone who's sitting in here and anyone who's watching this, is we know there's something wrong with us. We gotta do something about this. Because if I leave this on autopilot, I'm gonna burn the whole place down. That's a gift. Because most people are sleepwalking. And their problems and their defects, everyone just claps for them. We have the blessing to be forced to face ourselves every day. And we have the solution. You know, this is emotional and thought management, which to me, when you boil down what recovery is, that's what recovery is. Anyone can get sober. All it takes is Obamacare and a detox. You're sober. But to enter into recovery, to enter what I would call the Christ consciousness, into God consciousness, to begin to live and be who you are, it's going to take some thought management, and it's going to take some emotional management. And you have the ability to do that. So, you are not your thoughts. You have thoughts. Your thoughts are important. But you are the you that has thoughts. So, that's what I got for you guys tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Christian. You know, as you were talking tonight, it really, I saw something I hadn't seen before, and I was sitting there and I was looking at the train, right? And seeing how many times has our results that we didn't want to do started off with a thought, right? And so I got to thinking about that, and I love the fact that you brought that particular verse up, and it made me actually take a look at it. And you know, we take all thoughts captive to the obedience, right? To the obedience of who? To God. But what I thought was interesting was the verse before that. Was it said that we use God's weapons, not the world's weapons, to knock down strongholds. What's a stronghold in most of our lives, right? It started off with a DOC, and then what did it end up with? It ended up being whatever we're dealing with today, correct? And that's what I love, the fact that you brought that up. It's right where we are, right here, right now. And it sits here and it talks about that we have that thing, but it also says that when we pull those strongholds, it says it removes the human reasoning, right? So when we begin to look at that and sit there and say, how do I take a thought captive? I think what is so cool is that the verse right before that is telling us to literally destroy that thought even before it takes root, you know? And that we can't do that on our own, because the truth is we suck trying to do it on our own, right? But with God's help, everything's possible, yeah? So what I love that you brought out more than anything else is the fact that we don't have to be stuck in tomorrow or yesterday or in that bad email that came out. That we have the right to tear that thing down. And as soon as we do, we start taking that thought captive. And man, when you brought that out, I just saw that so differently, that it literally starts with just making sure that I start the day off in meditation, that I start the day off with Papa saying, you know what, I give you all the glory, man. I don't know. My thoughts are messed up from get-go, right? And so I guess what I'm going to do is just say, you give me my thoughts. And I love that. And I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, I had never associated the whole aspect that my thought ends up in a result that 9 times out of 10, I don't want to have happen.
You have my heart, I am yours forever. You are my strength, God of grace and power. And everything I hold in your hand, still you make time for me. I can't understand. Praise you, God of earth and sky, how beautiful is your unfailing love, unfailing love. changed, God, you remain the Holy One. My unfailing love, unfailing love. You are my rock, the one I hold on to. You are my song, and I sing for you. Everything hold in your hand. Still you make time for me. I can't understand. Praise you, God of earth and sky. How beautiful your unfailing love, unfailing love. And you never change, God, you remain the Holy One. My unfailing love, unfailing love. And everything hold in your hand. Still you make time for me. I can't understand. Praise you, God of earth and sky. How beautiful is your unfailing love, unfailing love. And you never change, God, you remain the Holy One. My unfailing love, unfailing love. Praise you, God of earth and sky. How beautiful is your unfailing love, unfailing love. And you never change, God, you remain the Holy One. My unfailing love, unfailing love, unfailing love.
So, Jeff, who's the only one that we can truly turn our thoughts over to?
Our Father,
Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever.